We're back. Dave Kotok, Don Luskin, Jerry Bowyer, Herb Greenberg, and Jack Gage. I want to get some strategies out of this. We've talked a lot about the individual pieces and what seems to be changing with the dollar and commodities and stocks rising. So, Dave Kotok, first of all, how low can gold go, and how much will oil follow gold down? Because if this is time to dump materials and commodity stocks, that represents a major sea change in stock market strategy.
I don't think it's time to dump materials and commodity stocks. I think it's time to be wary about oil. When it comes to gold, I don't have any idea where gold's going to go, up or down. Gold is being driven by a set of investors who see nothing else but the glitter. The fact is, we're in a worldwide monetary economy, so I don't know where gold goes.
Yeah, but consider this. Consider this. You may see a dollar move. It wouldn't surprise me. Now, with the Fed ending its easy money mode, and as Don Luskin said, the futures market is actually predicting rate hikes in the first half of next year. All right? What if the Treasury, what if the G7 comes in and really makes a statement to defend the dollar? Just to punctuate this thing. Now, won't traders and hedge funds in the U.S. and all around the world, number one, they have to cover their shorts on the dollar. Number two, they may have to get the heck out of their longs on oil, all manner of energy commodities, and probably the food commodities as well. In other words, a sea change is a real sea change. It's not just something around the edges. What do you make of that possibility, David Kotok?
Larry, I think the dollar turns, it's peaked against the euro, not the Asian currencies so much, but against the mature currencies, because the U.S. stimulus is going to cause the U.S. to grow sooner and more robustly than Europe or Japan. And stronger currencies go to growth. I don't think the G7 or an intervention is the key. What's key is U.S. turns out of its slowdown sooner. That's what's occurring. The markets are building it in. They're expecting it with the yield curve. They're expecting it with Fed funds hikes a year from now. That's the key.
I got to tell you, Jack Gage, I have been making some rounds yesterday, last night, and today here in Washington. You know what I hear, Jack? They are scared to death, they being politicians who have to stand for re-election in just a few months. They are scared to death of the headlines on food inflation, of this business of Walmart and, Costco, limiting rice purchases on bakers who can't get hold of flour. They are scared to death about people back home who are really totally pissed off at gasoline prices and home heating fuel prices. And the point of this is there are people coming up to me asking me about the role of the dollar that I never dreamed possible would ask such a question, and despite the fact that they're asking it, I have no reason to believe they understand it. But that's how far, Jack, they're groping for a solution, which is why I can't help but wonder, the Fed and the Treasury's hearing this stuff. They respond to political pressures just like occasionally the Supreme Court does, Jack. You could be in a total turnaround situation.
Absolutely, and there are really two narratives here. One, the weaker dollar has driven multinationals based in the U.S. overseas, and they've started to steal market share for businesses there as they try to raise the amount of sales done internationally to mitigate the weak dollar. Secondly, it's the tragedy of today that farmers have been made into the political pawns, feeding at the trough of the Congressional Budget Office, counting on subsidies, raising fields of crops to plant ears of ethanol. It's ridiculous, and it's an absolute crime that they've been made to do this by being overfed by the Congressional Budget Office.
Well, Don Luskin, this is a great time to pass a new farm bill, isn't it? It's about $280 billion. They're putting in money for, what did I hear today? Vegetable producers they're putting in money for. They want more money for public assistance. There's a one-year extension that was voted on today in the House and the Senate. Next week they're looking for this thing. Don't we need to subsidize farmers? Wouldn't this be a great time to do that now?
But, you know, it's like the previous guest just said. It's just a crime that these farmers are being forced into accepting these subsidies. I mean, think what that does to their dignity. They must feel less whole. I think we should, the Congress should undergo some kind of sensitivity training for the kind of mental abuse that these farmers are being put to.
I want to come back and talk about that. I want to hear Joe Lavorgna's take. There ain't no recession in farmland. Oh, he's going to be gone now? I'm sorry, Joe. We'll have to wait till the next time. Thank you, Joe Lavorgna, doing special duty. Thank you, David Kotak. Thank you, Jack Gage. Up next, we got a few more coming on. I want to go. I want to stay with this farm bill. I want to stay with this dollar story. Kudlow and Company. We'll be right back.